unit to gain entry into the storefront. With 2 suspects inside, Parole and NYPD must wait for ESU to secure the area. After ESU detains the suspects, they quickly leave the scene, having once again accomplished their job. Once inside, the other officers search the suspects and then begin an intense search for any narcotics that might be hidden within the store. Unfortunately, this warrant, too, only provides some drug paraphernalia and a small amount of cash. However, the raid did apparently prevent 2 individuals from building what seemed to be a steel fortress to be used as a safe house for an event just such as this.
This would be their safety. It would take hours to get in.
This morning's warrant will be the 3rd and final warrant for the week. And although the first 2 yielded few results, today's will prove different. Parole has received information about an individual who is allegedly dealing large amounts of heroin and marijuana from his apartment in Brooklyn. ESU gains entry to the apartment quickly and are able to detain 2 suspects without any resistance. The 2 suspects, a black male in his late 20s and his girlfriend, are removed from the residence and taken to the 77th precinct.
See the brand name on it.
Once inside, officers quickly uncover small amounts of heroin, packages of marijuana, and large sums of money.
Additional marijuana. So far, we're trusting this quantity of heroin and a little bit of marijuana to get us started.
Quite pleased with the accuracy of the developed information, ultimately the officers uncover a large amount of marijuana, heroin, and thousands of dollars in cash, along with a loaded clip to a 9mm handgun. Parole officer Pedro Figueroa is conducting a routine home visit on Parolee Taino Rivera.
I like to work with bike. It's a gift I have, right? These are some of the bikes that I got off state. This is a Tri-Cycle. I also work with the new bikes, but I rechange them. You know, like if they bring on one style, because people pay $2,000 for a bike, and then later on they realize
Taino's ability to repair bicycles has enabled him to maintain a small income while he searches for full-time employment.
That's the life that I survive with, because job is hard to find for me, especially since I came from prison. You know, it's not easy. Every time they find out how long I was in and what I was in for, you know, it's like starting all over. They just give me a kick and, oh, we call you or something like that. So it's hard, you know. The parole is helping me a lot, you know, that's for sure. You know, I hope, you know, I hope that they'll never take them away, because if with the time that I did, if they would have let me go out without parole, I don't know what I could have done.
Yeah, what we're going to do, these individuals all have curfews and are supposed to be involved in some illegal enterprises during the nighttime hours. So we're going to do curfew checks at their house. Most of the curfews start between 9:30 and 10 o'clock. So we're going to do the curfew at the house, and then after that we're going to stage and do surveillance around the areas that we know they're conducting their criminal activities. Nighttime is one of the best times to go out too. The curfews extend from night into the morning, and oftentimes the guys that are involved in the illegal business is really during the late hours of the night. This is the building we're going to. It's kind of quiet.
Parole officer Patrick Edwards' first curfew check is on parolee James Jackson, who is under parole supervision for life for drug trafficking, and one of the parolees suspected of dealing drugs during the nighttime hours.
Again, it's 10:49. Curfew starts at 10. Should be home.
After knocking on the door for several minutes, Officer Edwards leaves a message on Jackson's answering machine and then heads out to the next location.
That's one of the reasons why it's very good to go out late at nighttime. We're starting early curfews. It's 2 minutes before 11 right now.
It's a TV.
Okay, so now it's 11. We finished the first person. We're gonna go to check on the second person.
On the way to their next visit, the officers pass an arrest in progress, a scene all too familiar in the streets they patrol. This parolee is home, but his being there does not convince Officer Edwards of his innocence.
We're still going to conduct surveillance where he's supposed to be selling. Let's see if he goes back out later on during the nighttime. So he's supposed to be operating late at night. That's another thing that happens. Once you make the visit, they tend to feel comfortable. And they might feel like it's okay to go back out now.
With some time before they begin their surveillance, the officers head over to the Fort Greene projects to meet up with parole officer John White and to conduct curfew checks on a few other parolees who are part of their caseloads. The Fort Greene projects are notorious for being one of the most active and dangerous projects in New York City. They are home to over 50 parolees and some of New York's most hardened criminals and gang leaders.
Yeah, I used to be involved with the community center over here. I was teaching a karate class over here. Assistant teaching a karate class a couple years ago, but I had to stop because I was doing too many warrants over this side. So I don't want to endanger the kids.
4 crime, Sergeant.
12:30 a.m. Parole has positioned themselves on a corner across from the area where the parolees are allegedly dealing drugs. A silver Ford Escort bearing North Carolina plates arrives to deliver what Parole believes is the supply for the night's dealing. Although not their parolee, the individual the parole officers do observe is heavily dealing what they believe to be crack cocaine. For the next half hour, Parole will capture multiple transactions on film. So as not to be seen, the dealer does most of his exchanges in the lobby of one of the project buildings across from the surveillance corner.
Whatchamacallit, I'll sell to you. Just sold to him right there.
See, we can get him though, because he got the product going.
Nevertheless, he is caught carelessly performing what is known as a hand-to-hand buy while crossing the street. Since this individual is not one of their parolees, Parole will contact the area precinct to debrief them on the current situation.
He just got a large amount of crack put in his pants, and there's a car that delivered it to him is still parked right in front of the store across from 190 York.
3 days later, the surveillance footage has led to a warrant on a crack house located just a few blocks from the same corner.
We're expecting them to be drug addicts. Be very careful when you have some people that got any deals or anything on them.
As teams of officers arrive, ESU, using what is known as a driver's side bailout, quickly gains entry. Once inside, ESU uses a concussion grenade to temporarily disorient the suspects. One of the addicts, overwhelmed by the smoke, leans out a window to catch some air. As quickly as they entered, with the location now secured, ESU just as swiftly departs. Officers who have entered now search and process the 10 drug users found there.
Typical of a crack house, we have an anonymous person with a glass which makes it difficult for the drug purchasers to identify the seller.
A tip to NYPD proves positive, as the officers locate the crack cocaine the dealer was allegedly transporting in the lining of bicycle tires. After finding and seizing the drugs, officers escort the remaining addicts to a transport van waiting outside.
Making a routine visit on Charles Carter. Follow-up visit.
Charles Carter has been on parole for almost 2 months now. He is trying to find a full-time job while working part-time with his cousin, doing electrical work. He has complied with every rule and regulation of parole supervision thus far. Although she is pleased with Carter's performance, parole officer Sandra Sutherland questions him about his job search and any plans he has for an upcoming holiday. Will Charles Carter complete his parole supervision and reintegrate himself into society? Only time will tell, but for now, Carter seems to be on the right track. Ramayana Jones's supervised parole has not been as successful. Concerned about his recent absence from a mandatory drug treatment program and his rapid changes of employment, parole officer Barry Davis makes an evening home visit to find out what's going on with Jones.
You working?
Yes, and guess what? That other job, that's finito. I mean, they just pulled some BS on me. They got me at the Landmark Tavern. The Landmark Tavern is on the West Side Highway.
Is that little restaurant bar
Across
thing?
the street from the trucking.
Right, that little bar thing.
Right. I work in the back in the kitchen. I'm a busboy. Bus tables.
Are you supposed to be working in alcohol?
I work in the kitchen area. I don't work near the alcohol.
Based on Ramayana's criminal history, parole officer Davis will begin to keep an even closer watch on his behavior.
What we're doing tonight is we're helping out another unit. We're looking for Sheldon Mackey. He's a parole violator, hasn't been in for about 2 months. He's got a violent history, mainly larceny, but he had in the incident offense, he did a robbery with a handgun.
Tonight's arrest warrant should be routine. Yet what happens next is anything but. Parole officers Barry Davis and John White had been informed by the NYPD to be on the lookout for a gray Jeep that was stolen from New Jersey. As the officers attempt to approach the vehicle, the suspects take off.
Wrong way.
The suspects dangerously speed down a one-way street.
Hold up, red. Coming your way, Davis, I don't know, not yet.
The Jeep the suspects are driving is too fast for the officer's state car, which is quickly losing ground.
Take it easy on the lights. Turn back into the 8-8. Slow it down. 8-8 top unit on the air. Probably gonna go back down Franklin, Barry. 8-8 top to Central. Go up. Go up. There he is, right here. They bailed, right here. They fucking bailed. Car's in reverse, watch it.
The car thieves bail out into the projects, hoping to use them as a safe haven. But with the quick thinking of the parole officers and assistance from NYPD's top unit, the driver of the vehicle is apprehended.
Watch yourself, they're throwing stuff off the roof.
We had got a heads up from NYPD that some individuals had stolen a gray Jeep with Jersey plates. So, and en route to do our delinquency, what is in front of us? A gray Jeep with Jersey plates. I let the top unit know behind us, and they bolted. So we had a high-speed chase. It ended up with one perp being apprehended, one still on the loose.
Hi, man. I'm Officer White. Is Sheldon here? Yeah, I have a warrant for his arrest, and we're told he's staying with you. Do you mind if we look around?
With more work still to be done, the parole officers arrive at the last known residence of Sheldon Mackey, who is wanted for multiple parole violations. Armed with a search warrant, the parole officers enter the residence to begin their search. The home is dark, but so as not to alert the parolee of their exact location, the officers must silently search the home with flashlights. The parole officers notice an open door at the rear of the house and some of the parolee's personal belongings on the floor. They radio the other parole officers who have set up a perimeter outside to see if they have noticed anything. The call comes back negative. The officers then search the basement apartment where the homeowner's sister and grandchild live. This type of search is extremely stressful and dangerous. With a firm grip on their weapons and their emotions, these parole officers must search the unknown. Behind every door, under every bed, there is the potential for the parolee to be waiting, armed and determined not to be taken into custody.
Hello, it's police, ma'am. You didn't hear us knocking on your door?
No.
How you doing? Your grandmother let us in. How you doing? Sorry, Paul.
Sheldon here?
No, just
Okay.
me and my granddaughter.
All right, we're sorry to have to look around, but do you mind?
Wondering who the hell was upstairs.
You didn't hear us banging on your door?
Oh, you heard us knocking. You were hoping we'd go
No,
away.
I didn't hear nobody banging.
Oh,
okay. Okay, we appreciate it. We're sorry to have to do that.
Granddaughter.
The search yields no results. Officers are left to continue it another day.
Okay.
A second interview with Radamus Rios, a former transit police officer who about 10 years ago committed a horrendous rape. Now he has a new girlfriend, somebody he met